I know I'm not the first to say it, but I am going to say today, John Gray is trash. Hey girl, it's Chris with the Fat Black Girl. Welcome back. And if you are new, welcome. Thank you for joining us today. I have a very clear opinion of the recent goings on of one Pastor John Gray. Before we get into that, I do want you to go ahead and subscribe, get all of this fat black girl magic and amazing content. Hit that button and stay tuned if you want to hear my take on why John Gray is trash. All right, so this video is not going to be like a rehashing or retelling of what's going on. We know what's going on. John Gray has been busy. It was just 1 year ago when he apologized for cheating on his wife, First Lady Aventer Gray, with another woman, but it wasn't physical, so it was okay. And then just now, a year later, oh, John. A year later, he has come out with yet another apology for having an inappropriate relationship with a woman, but it wasn't physical, so it's okay. I want to offer up that John Gray is complete trash, and not trash like he's unredeemable, not trash like he's just the worst human being on the face of the earth. However, his recent actions have just given him the label of trash for right now. And it's not even because he has and probably will continue to cheat on his wife. So here's my take on why John Gray is trash. So as I mentioned, this is not about cheating. Cheating happens. Men, women, non-gender conforming people cheat all day, every day. And I am also not saying once a cheater, always a cheater. I believe that if you want, you can change. If you don't want, then you don't change. And then it's once a cheater, always a cheater. You'll just continue to be a cheater. However, this is not about cheating. Mistakes happen. Bad choices happen. It happens within marriages. It happens outside of marriages. It just happens. I'm also not calling him trash because he's a minister. I grew up in church. Like, I have a feeling that my mama was on her way to the hospital to have me and like stopped by a choir rehearsal and just had me on the altar. Like, that's how much I was in church. And one thing I learned growing up in the time that I did, there were a ton of preachers that were around my age when I was a teenager, when I was in my early 20s. And growing up with those people helped me to realize and understand that preachers are absolute human beings, right? They are plain men, plain women that have walked in this higher calling that God has given them. So those are my two rules for this discussion. It's not because he cheated, and it's not because he's a minister. John Gray is trash for this reason and a few others I'm going to discuss. All right, I'm just going to go in. I have my notes right here. I'm just going in. In his most recent apology video, to me, that's what the church ladies used to do. I'm talking about for me. To me, John Gray has exhibited some emotionally abusive behavior. It is emotional manipulation, which can be translated and interpreted as abuse. Here's why. In the apology video, he says, don't leave, don't leave, which I don't have a problem with. He's telling people, don't leave early. There's still work to be done. And don't let what I've done, keep you from participating in this work. He then says, stay and fight for me the way that I would fight for you. Sir, whoa, wait a minute. First of all, there's no evidence of you fighting for anything. We have seen you cheat on your wife, make a public spectacle of this church. Then you were redeemed. You were welcomed back in. Your wife went off on the woman on stage, from the pulpit, whatever you want to call it. and then you do this again. So there is no evidence that you would fight for us if I was a part of his church. I'm just saying, I'm saying us as those watching. So don't guilt people into staying and putting up with your mess when at this point, your wife, your members, your trustee, people have the right to leave now because you have shown that you don't give a shit. I'm gonna do what I want to do. No shade, don't do that. That's trash. John Gray is trash because he is admittedly immature and almost proud of it. Like this, he gives these performative, that's my word for 2020. Can we just say that the word for 2020 is performative? He gives these canned responses and performative apologetics about what he's done, right? So the reason this video took a while for me to do is I have been inundating myself with his background story, his ministry, how he's kind of matriculated to where he is now. I've gone through interviews and apology videos and all of these different things of just kind of getting to understand what is presented to us. A couple of years ago, he did an interview on Sister Circle where he did this whole long explanation of how his wife was 2 sizes too big and he didn't fit her when they got married and he didn't know anything about being a husband. Let me pause and say I am not coming down on him for that because I am surrounded by people. My father is one who did not have an example of a loving husband or father, but learned how to do that. So I'm not going to say, hey, oh, well, you should have known. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is you're immature. His immaturity is exhibited by allowing his wife on numerous occasions to defend his honor, right? There was a social media influencer, YouTuber, Facebooker, I'm not really sure what he would be considered, but his name is Derek Jackson. When John Gray did the Sister Circle interview, Derek Jackson made a response directly to John Gray's interview. In the interview, John Gray is talking about how he basically put her through 8 years of pain and, birthing pains and growing pains because he didn't know how to be a husband or a father. And in that time, she covered him. There's a difference in there. He said, there's a difference between a covering and a lid and blah, blah, blah. Derek Jackson, who did a lot of videos geared towards single women, was basically saying John Gray is trash because it's almost like his expectation was that this woman was going to endure, and she did. This woman was going to just be by his side, put up with his shit for 8 years. And now that he's gotten it, now it's her turn. Now it's time for them to be, hashtag relationship goals and all of this stuff. When what he was describing was immaturity, emotional abuse, and all these other things. As a result of that video, John Gray and his wife, Aventer Gray, put out a response to Derek Jackson. Aventer spoke mostly about Derek Jackson in defense of her husband. When I tell you Aventer went in and he sat there, John Gray sat there and let her defend his honor. And he was like, thanks, Pippi, I think is the nickname that he has for her. Thanks, Pippi. And he let his wife defend his honor. I am a mouthy woman. And if there was someone coming up against my partner, a man coming up against my partner, I'm heterosexual, so I'd be partnered up with a man, I would let those 2 men do their thing. And I'm not coming at her. I'm coming at him to say, why didn't you say, hey, babe, appreciate it, let me handle it. But your immaturity lets you sit there with a hoodie on talking about thanks, Pippi, while she went after a man to defend your honor. Trash. I think also that he is intimidated by his wife. And that is evidenced again when he was doing his first apology tour and he was standing before the people of Relentless Church and, was going in and on about all the things as to what led him to the point of cheating, right? And he mentioned that his wife found out and set it off like a good wife should. Fine. She took the mic, went in, talked about that wicked woman. She went in, and he literally and figuratively stepped back and let her continue to defend him, to defend their ministry, to defend his honor. Had a problem with it. I don't have a problem with Aventer. I have a problem with him letting her continue to defend his honor. It's trash. The next reason John Gray is trash is because he has selective accountability. And here's what I mean by that. Again, grew up in the church, so it's the enemy will attack, anything that you got going on when you're doing right. He said that the first time, he said that this time. John, we can't keep calling our willing, what does my big sis say? She always says, you told a willful lie. You willfully went out and did this. So is that an attack? Is it an attack if you give the enemy the weapons to come at you? If you leave your door wide open with a sign that says, steal my stuff, is that an attack? Or is that an invitation? Can we stop giving the enemy so much credit for what we are allowing, what we are willfully going out to do? It wasn't John, it wasn't no attack. Stop, okay? So in the second apology video, the enemy will attack. No, John, you did this. You did it. And there's a difference between the enemy attacking and you living out the consequences of your actions. It's trash. This second cheating story was broken by a YouTuber by the name of Tasha K. Her YouTube channel is called Unwind with Tasha K. His response was that, people will be excited to see you fall. I am not saying that is incorrect. What I am saying is, John, you keep putting yourself in this position, bruh. Stop putting it on everybody else. People excited to see you fall. Had you not been communicating with homegirl, okay, Tasha K wouldn't have had nothing to break. It's not her fault. And if people will be excited to see you fall, if you saw how it broke the first time, then he came with, in the introduction to his sermon, he said, it wasn't physical. I just want to be clear. It wasn't physical. Trash. Who cares? And here's the deal. It was about to be until she outed you. You told her bring a 2-piece and a mask to Cabo. Just like you got the hotel room for the first chick. I don't necessarily believe that it wasn't physical. I'm pretty sure it was. Even if you were by yourself and whatever she sent you made it physical just for you, because you are looking at another woman who is not your wife to help you and motivate you. Y'all know what I mean. Amen. Stop offering up it wasn't physical as a way to soften the blow. Inappropriateness does not have to become physical for it to be inappropriate, John. And you saying that in defense of, at least I didn't make it physical, is trash. This next point is one that it really grinds my gears, because part of it really hits home for me in that his first apology video, he went through this whole discussion that, the people didn't care as long as I was smiling, as long as I was producing. And in the very next breath, he alluded to that he couldn't talk to anybody, right? No one wants to receive my brokenness. However, in an interview he did with the Breakfast Club, Charlemagne asked, Who do you go to? And he listed off like 5 people. So, did the people not receive your brokenness, or did you not share it, John? You can't sit up here and make it seem like this church of people who love and support you and come every week, give their money, don't care about you. That's not fair, bro. You can't do that. And I understand that pastors have a very tight line to walk, right? They can't come up to the average parishioner and say, oh God, I'm falling apart. My marriage is in shambles and I'm cheating on my wife. Nor would I recommend it. But I also know bodies of baptized believers that have had their pastors fall, and they say, okay, pastor, you did that. You may lose a couple of people, but I have seen congregations rally around their fallen leaders. Stop making it seem these people who love you so much that they have given of their money, their time, and their talent now don't care. Bro, that's not fair. That is trash. And then what about these people to whom you say you can go and get wise counsel from? They didn't care neither? Nobody cared? No, bro, you didn't share. And if you didn't share, that is on you. Or you shared and somebody told you to go sit your ass down and you was in your feelings. Trash. So from the church girl's standpoint in me, right? His whole thing about his wife being his covering. Now, if we're going to go there, church folks, we're going to go there. That is already backwards, right? Why is your wife covering you? To my knowledge and how I've learned the word and been in church, the husband is the covering. The man is the covering of the household. So you already out of whack. He might be embarrassed that his wife is so bomb in terms of, you know, in the first apology video, when his wife took the mic, that woman gave scripture, that woman gave context, that woman talked about the attack in terms of if the enemy could get to us, then they could get to you, and they can break down all these families and all of these ministries and everything waiting to be birthed in this congregation. When she started talking, that's what came out. Not him. He was performing. She started ministering. Throughout other interviews and, again, videos and things that I've seen, it is always Aventer coming with the structure, with the scripture, with the message, with the power. And I feel that he is intimidated by that, but that speaks to her being his covering. And you are out of alignment if that's the case. If we're going by biblical principles for marriage. If you don't believe in that, then you don't believe in that. But these people do. And you're going to tell me, yeah, my wife was my covering and not my lid. You were already out of whack. That's trash. My next point was supposed to be something else, but I'm going to switch it around because we're talking about Aventer now. John Gray is trash because he keeps putting Aventer in a position to be questioned because she chooses to maintain her vows. There's a ton of, girl, why is she staying, girl? I'd have been gone. You don't know what you would do until you're in the situation. Let's just put the shit on out there. Why are we shaming her? It's not fair. The vows she took said for better or for worse. This is worse. This is bad. We have to stop shaming women for being exactly what we want them to be. You want to ride or die, but then when she starts to be a ride or die, it's like, girl, why you still sticking around? And John Gray is trash for constantly putting her in that position. Constantly putting her in a position to be called stupid, to look stupid, to be humiliated, to be embarrassed. How embarrassing is it that you are in this public position and everybody knows your husband is cheating on you? John, you knew it was going to go public, dude. You know that. You're trash. Final point. all of this kind of speaks to arrogance, but it was in his second apology tour video where he's by himself on this darkly lit stage with a stool and a word and all of this kind of stuff. It was very, John, enough. In the second apology video, he says, if God will come after me, if God will expose me. Sir, are you fucking kidding? First of all, how arrogant is it to say, well, if he'll come after me, he definitely gonna get y'all. Sir, in another interview he and his wife did for V103, and I believe they were in Atlanta, he said, I know a whole bunch of other people's secrets, and I haven't said anything, but hey, they got me, but I keep everybody else's secrets. John, you sound like Job's wife, sir. You sound like Job's wife. Man, you sound foolish. And you still worried about the wrong shit. Who cares about what these other people are doing? That's what he kept saying in the video. I just wanted to get away with what other people got away with. You are deflecting, John. That's what you're doing. It's, yeah, I did wrong, but it's a whole bunch of other people over there got away with it a long time ago, and I didn't say nothing. I'm the type, I don't say nothing. John, you're trash, bro. You are trash. And you gotta stop being trash, okay? Because then you really will be left with nothing. And if Aventer chooses to stay and live out the vows she took, because she took them vows, if she chooses to stay and live out those vows, sir, you're gonna have to pull it together. Like, no shade. Bullshit ain't about nothing, which is what my sister says. You're gonna have to pull it together. Bonus round. Here's a bonus point as to why John Gray is trash. You used your son to unknowingly badmouth his mother to your woman about what your wife is not doing around the house. You got enough money to buy your wife a Lamborghini, but you expect her to sit around and cook and clean as if you're an everyday person. Here's the deal. I don't know if Aventer can cook or not, but I bet you John knew before they got married, or when they got married and her ass was putting in DiGiorno pizzas. Clearly, you haven't missed a meal, John, but you're going to make your child badmouth his own mother? You're going to do that to that child? You're trash, man. You are bona fide seafood shells, 3-day-old greens, stinking chicken trash, bro. That is trash. John Gray, you are trash, man. Your actions, trash-ish, bro. What this also does is it brings to the forefront the ride or die mentality, in that it comes in every facet of life. You see it with Beyonce, Lemonade, and Becky with the good hair and all of that. You see it with Meg the Stallion protecting homeboy that shot her in both of her feet. You see it with Aventer Gray calling homegirl the wicked woman and all of that to support and protect their men. They are still with these men, so far as I know. Well, not Meg. Meg, I think, is done with homeboy. But it is the idea that even though you messing up my life, I'm still gonna protect you. I'm gonna be a ride or die. And ride or die-ism is expected of Black women, but then when it is performed, Black women are ridiculed, called stupid, and girl bone, well, she a good one, girl, you better than me. All of that is calling a woman stupid for supporting the man, which is what we're trained to do. That's what it is. You want to ride or die. And then when it happens, you're down their throats. Hats off to Aventer. Hats off to Beyonce. Hats off to every woman that's been treated like trash in their marriage and still tried to take those vows seriously. You made the vow. And no doubt you love the man that you're with. Why are we trashing Aventer? Oh, you know when black people say, you better than me, they're calling you stupid. I'm going to give you that one for free. You are being called dumb the minute somebody tells you, girl, you better than me. I couldn't have done it. Are you calling me dumb? So for those reasons, John Gray is pure D trash. Redemption, reconciliation, all of that is possible. And the truth is, John, you got to get up under somebody that's going to tell you the truth to your face. And you had it in your wife, but obviously you didn't want to listen to her. And I get it. Like, you know, your daddy tell you you're beautiful. It's like, well, you supposed to say that. But if someone else tells you, then you're probably prone to believe. So I get that. You don't want to hear her. But you got to get under somebody, man, that's going to minister you back to where you need it to be, because you're about to lose it all. So that's all I got for today. And I hope you enjoyed the video. If you've lasted this long, comment down below with your thoughts on the situation. All jokes aside and all judgment aside, I am praying for the Gray family, because there are children involved, there's a wife involved, and there's a broken man involved. And it's not easy for any of them. It's not, you know. We are doing the best that we can with what we got. And a lot of us we're not making the best decisions, but that does not define who you are. So with that being said, again, I want you to comment, rate, subscribe, and share. And until the next time, bye.